Hi guys, my name is Bobby. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm bringing you my April TBR. So the month of April is going to be very, very busy for me. I'm just going to preface this. Hopefully I get all these books read. I have 5 physical ones and another one that will be audio only, and I'll put a picture on the screen when we get there. But softball season has started, so my daughter plays softball. It has started. Practices have started. She's going to be having games every Tuesday and Saturday for sure, plus 2 days of practices in between there. So that's a lot of traveling, a lot of driving. Plus I work a full-time job and have another child. Like, it's gonna be busy. So of course I'm gonna continue my trend. All of these will be listened to on audio. I'm not going to read physically. Audio seems to be getting me through so many books, and I feel better about my reading. Like, I've been reading stuff that I've really wanted to read and have always wanted to get to. So we're just gonna continue with the audio and see how April goes. Hopefully I can get through these. I'm also participating in a readathon. Why can't I talk today? Called Realmathon. I'll post the announcement video down in the description bar. Cassidy from Covers with Cassidy is running this. She's the goddess, I think she's calling herself. And there's 4 different realms. You pledge your magic to a realm, and each realm is ran by 2 other booktubers, one bigger one and one smaller creator, which I really like. Combining a bigger creator with a smaller one gets more exposure to other people, and I like what she's created. So it's kind of it's a fantasy based, you don't have to read just fantasy, but the realm is based on fantasy. There's 4 different realms. You pick which realm you want to be a part of, and then you start reading based on prompts. So there are, I think there's 10 prompts per, but you read a book and then you decide what prompts it's going to fill. So you either can do positive points, which adds magic to your realm, or you can do negative, which you deal damage to somebody else and in the whole realm, like a damage to another part. So she explains it better than I do. Go watch her video. But it sounds like a lot of fun. I have pledged my magic to Team Bale, which is being run by Becca from Becca in the Books and my friend Mel from Eleanor Reads. I will link both of their channels down in the description below, of course. So that was a no-brainer. I was going to be on Mel and Becca's team. It was like no-brainer. Plus, they're running the little area that's called Bale, which is very foresty, and they worship a trickster god. Like, Cassidy went really into this in developing like backstories to each little realm. It's cool. I really like it. So I think it'll be fun. My strategy is that I'm going to read books, or all the books that I read are going to go to adding magic to our realm, because our team it's from what I've heard, from what my friends have told me, that realm is the biggest so far. So I feel like the people who can attack us, which are the only people who can attack us, are the ones that border us. And I have a feeling that those Calamus and Escaine are going to, or is it Escaine? I know Calamus is the one below us. No, Escana. Escana and Calamus are going to probably attack us pretty much a lot. Like, if they're smart. Like, a lot of this is strategy too. I mean, nobody gets anything if they win. It's just for funsies. But so my strategy is I'm going to read as much as I can to gain points for my team. So as I tell you what I'm going to read, I will explain how many points each book is going to get me, and I guess what they're for. And honestly, the prompts for adding magic to your team, I found easier to fill than the ones to take points away, but we'll see. Other people are going to have other strategies. This is mine. I'm just going to read to increase my team's magic. So I will link Cassidy's video down below. Go check it out and pledge to a team. I don't remember everybody that's hosting. I do know the 4 smaller booktubers, I believe, no, 3, because 2 of my other friends, Marissa and Rye, are also on their, Rye's on Serene and Marissa's on Calamus. I know Calamus is Marissa and Aaron from Booked and Busy, and Rye's and Serene with Maddie, I believe, and Escana is Jade and Beck, I believe. I'm not sure. Cassidy knows all of them, but either way, I have a feeling that Marissa's going to attack us a lot because she's out for violence. But it should be a really fun readathon. I know Cassidy's going to do 24-hour, or she's going to do sprints to kick off the readathon, and she's going to do a 24-hour sprinting on a weekend during too, and it's a whole month of April. So I have all month to read all of these, and I'm really excited. Cassidy's messaging me, but I'm really excited to join. So anyways, I've been filming too long already. So let's get into the TBR so this isn't super fucking long like normal. The first book of my TBR is mine and Vicky's pick for our Random Reads book club, which we run on Goodreads. We read books every other month. And this pick, I think this was mine, or I bullied her into it. I've been holding on to this since it came out because I knew we were going to read it. And so I've had it for a couple of months. But for the months of April and May, we chose Apples Never Fall by Leanne Moriarty. I love Leanne Moriarty. We read What Alice Forgot as part of our book club as well. This is her newest release. I love Big Little Lies. I really liked Nine Perfect Strangers. I know a lot of people didn't like the book, but seemed to enjoy the show. I haven't watched the show. I enjoyed the book. I described the book as The Breakfast Club for adults. And there was a couple people who read it after me go, oh my God, you're right, the way that description was. I really enjoy Leanne Moriarty. So I'm excited to read this one to see. It's a lot smaller. Well, her books are pretty chunky, but it's smaller than Nine Perfect Strangers. But this is the story of a family. I think they're a tennis family. They're a sports family. Yeah, they're tennis stars. The parents are tennis stars and famous. And a lot of the kids, they have 4 kids or 3 kids. They're all tennis stars. And the mom goes missing. So it's about trying to find their mom. Did their dad have anything to do with it? So kind of mystery, but very much family drama. She's very good at the family drama. So I'm excited to get into it. If you'd like to join us, the link to the Goodreads group is down in my description. I'm excited to get into this one. I've had a lot of bad luck with our book club picks for the past year. Part of that was due to my slump. Part of it, the pick last month, nobody liked. Our pick for January, none of us liked. I barely started it, didn't like it. I DNF'd it. Vicky didn't like it. Yeah, I think there was a couple people who got through it, but not many. So hopefully this one will be a lot easier read, and I'm really intrigued. I've been waiting to read this since it came out, so now I'm going to read it. So as far as Realmathon goes, Apples Never Fall gives me points for Tech Advance, Parent-Child Relationship, and Author from a Different Country. Tech Advance is audio or an ebook. I'm reading it on audio. This is about parent-child relationships because you've got the parents, the kids, the sports stuff, how they were influenced, how it influenced their family. And Author from a Different Country, Leanne Moriarty is from Australia. I'm in the US, of course. So this book will get me 5 points for my team. I'm just going to go down the stack. So next in my stack is a book that I've wanted to reread for a long time. And I reread a whole bunch of books in March. And I'm not usually a rereader. But in beginning of March, I was feeling myself slump. So I picked up books and reread them to help kind of get me back into it. And now that I've gotten into audio, I think it's a good way to reread, because what I tend to do and what happens with me is if I try to reread a book that I really enjoyed and I really loved, and I'm like, oh, I just want to reread it again just to kind of get back in that feeling. My issue is I get bored because I know what's going to happen. All of the suspense and intrigue from the story is gone for me because I know what the ending is. So I have a hard time rereading, and usually I just quit in the middle. I'm hoping I won't with this because it's been a couple of years since I've read them, and it's one of my favorite trilogies of all time, and I'm gonna reread it next month, and that's Red Sister by Mark Lawrence. I've only read these books once. Let's see, Holy Sister, when it came out, that was the last thing I read. I have not reread Grey Sister or Red Sister. I'm gonna reread Red Sister. If this goes well, I'm gonna binge the trilogy in the month of April. They're all on audio and script. I'll just binge them. So we'll see how this goes. I'm excited. And do I need to explain Red Sister? Assassin nuns in a fantasy world. So Red Sister, Tech Advance. So I'm gonna listen on audio. It's got a weapon on the cover. She is holding a sword. Apprentice trope. There is an apprentice trope in this for sure because she becomes an apprentice to become an assassin nun. So apprentice mentor trope, and it's a Cassidy fave. So this rereading Red Sister will get me 9 points for my team. Next on the list is a book that I'm hoping to buddy read with Sarah from Sarah's Nightstand. She wanted to buddy read it with me in the month of March, but I was in the middle of binging something, and so I convinced her to switch to that instead, which then I blazed past her, and I'm an asshole buddy reading partner. So hopefully we can buddy read this in April. Hopefully she has time to fit it into her TBR. And that's Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby. I've heard a lot about this story, a lot of good things about it, and it's about 2 fathers that come together to try to find out who murdered their gay sons who are married. They both struggle with the fact that their sons were gay and didn't really talk to them, and now that they're dead, they're trying to find out who murdered them. I hear it's pretty dark. It's short. Pretty dark, kind of brutal, but I'm excited to get into it. I want to know what all the hype is about, and it'll take another book of the month book off of my list. So Razorblade Tears is a new to me author. I'm going to listen on audio. It's got green on the cover, very little, but it's still got green on the cover, and it's got parent-child relationships. So Razorblade Tears will get me 6 points from my team. Next is a book I've been highly anticipating as well. It's another book of the month pick. I have loved her last 2 previous books, and I've been waiting for this one, and I was going to pick it up, but then I got it at the end of March, but then I got on another tangent, and we won't get into that. But that's The Book of Cold Cases by Simone St. James. I love Simone St. James. I loved The Broken Girls. I loved The Sundown Motel. And this is her newest release. It came out in March. So this is one of my March Book of the Month picks. This has dual timelines like she does in all of her other books. I don't remember what the timelines are. 77 and 2017. So it's about a girl in the present timeline who's going to interview this woman who was charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder and was acquitted, but people think that she was a serial killer. And then you have this woman in the past timeline. So I'm curious to see, because she's interviewing this woman. This woman hasn't talked to anybody in years. She's been a hermit since she was acquitted and is now allowing this woman to interview her. So I'm curious to see where she takes this. Simone St. James tends to do a lot of paranormal stuff, like Sundown Motel had some ghosty things in it. Broken Girls had a whisper of ghosty things, but it wasn't actually ghosts. That one was a little bit more people oriented, but it was still really good. So I'm curious to see where she takes this one. So, The Book of Cold Cases is a spooky book, green on the cover, and I'm going to listen on audio, so it will garner me 4 points for my team. The last physical book on this list is a chunky one. This was a gift given to me by one of my subscribers, Monica, a couple years ago, and she wanted to buddy read it with me, and she already read it, and it was right into my slumpy time, and I never picked it up. I've heard nothing but good things about this book. It's book 1 in a series. I think it's 4 books, something like that, maybe 5. And I'm finally going to get to it, and that's Malice by John Gwynne. This is a chunky ass fucking book. Becca from Becca and the Books also has to read this in the month of April, May. She made an April, May TBR because of me, which I find hilarious. She plays Bookopoly, and she landed on a viewer recommend space. So that's all of her own books. She made a video of all of her own TBR, and then she does a random comment generator, and whatever comment comes up, she'll read whatever book that is. Some people are nice and do one comment and list like 10 books that she can choose from. I'm a dick, and I posted like 70 to 80 comments. I can't remember how many. It was a lot. Somewhere between 50 and 70 comments, and I do 1 book per comment. So if she happens to land on that, she's got to read whatever book it is. So she runs the comment generator. I saw my name pop up once, but then it landed on me, and it was Malice. So her reaction is hilarious in the video. I recommend you go watch it. But then she yelled at me in her Discord because she goes, wait, because I was like, oh, hey, we can suffer together. I'm also reading Malice in April. And she goes, wait, you recommended a book to me and you haven't even fucking read it yet? And I'm like, I really did choose violence. I'm sorry, but I am going to read it. I was hoping that I was going to read it before her or before it ever came up. I never thought my comment would get picked up anyways. There's over 1,000 comments on that video. And yet, here we are. So, I will be reading Malice. So will Becca. All I know about this is that this is a fantasy. And that's it. I don't know shit about it. I just know it's a fantasy series that everybody loves, and Mel has told me that the first 200 pages in this are kind of rough. So once you get past those 200 pages, it's pretty easy going. So I'm going to listen on audio, of course, like I am with everything. So hopefully I can get through this. And it's a chunky ass book too. And if I enjoy it, then I'll get the other ones because they're nice big floppy paperbacks, and I'll add them to my shelves. So Malice, it's a new to me author. I'm going to listen on audio. It's a Cassidy favorite. It's a chunky book, and it's got a weapon on the cover. So this book is going to get me the most points out of all of them, and this will give me 10 points for my team. Last on my list is probably going to surprise some of my long-term subscribers. It's not going to surprise anybody who's followed me on the late night crew sprints that I've been a part of the last week or so. But I'm going to continue the Planet Barbarian series. Yeah, I know. Quit judging me. I can hear you all judging me. So this series, I just decided to start in the month of March. You'll hear about it in my wrap up. I don't know if I would necessarily want to get into why here. It's probably easier to do in my wrap up, but I'm going to be continuing this series. I don't know which book I'm just going to put a picture of the first one on the screen. I've already read that one, but right now I have like 10% left in book 4. There's still a couple days in the month, so I might be on book 7 or 8 or 6, or we'll see, because we're towards the end of the month now, so I'm not picking up any. I mean, I guess I could cheat and start my TBR early, but I'm not gonna. Yeah, it'll be whatever Planet Barbarian book I happen to be on when April starts. No, this is not an April Fool's joke. I'm actually reading this series, and I've read 4 of them in the last like 2 days, so I don't even know who I am anymore. But the Planet Barbarians books will get me a point for audio, romance, and reading a book in one sitting, so it'll get me 5 points for my team. But that is it, guys. That is my April TBR. Please let me know in the comments down below what you guys are reading for April. Are you joining in Romathon? Team Bail all the way. If you would like to join, again, Cassidy's announcement video is linked in the description below. Watch her video. She explains it so much better than me, and she'll have all the links in her video on what you need to do to pick a team and the docs with all the prompts and all that stuff. It's going to be a really fun month, I'm hoping. Hopefully I'm not too busy to fully participate. I'm in Team Bail all the way. But that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.